Rajdeep Sardesai. He doesn't really need any introduction, but let me do it anyway. Rajdeep Sardesai, aged 59, is an award-winning senior journalist, author, TV news presenter. His latest book, 2024, The Election That Surprised India, came out recently. His previous books, 2019, How Modi Won India, and 2014, The Election That Changed India, have been national bestsellers translated into multiple languages. His book, Democracy 11, The Great Story of Indian Cricket, was shortlisted by MCC Lords as Cricket Book of the Year in 2017 and 18. Currently the consulting editor and lead news anchor of the India Today group. He has over 3 decades of journalistic experience in print and television. He was the founder editor of IBN 18 Network, which included CNN IBN, IBN 7, and IBN Lokmat. Prior to that, he was managing editor of both NDTV 24/7 and NDTV India, and was responsible for overseeing the news policy for both the channels. He has also worked with the Times of India for 6 years and was city editor of its Mumbai edition at the age of 26. During his long career in journalism, he has covered major national and international stories, specializing in national politics. He has won more than 50 awards for journalistic excellence, including the prestigious Padma Shri for journalism in 2008, the International Broadcasters Award for coverage of the 2002 Gujarat riots, the Ramnath Goenka Excellence in Journalism Award in 2007, and the 2019 Prem Bhatia Award for political journalism for analysis of the 2019 elections. The first Indian to win the Asian Television Award for both talk show and news presentation. He has been news anchor of the year at the Indian Television Academy a record 10 times. In 2020, he was conferred with the Lifetime Achievement Award at the annual News Broadcasting Awards. He has been president of the Editors Guild of India and was also chosen as a global leader for tomorrow by the World Economic Forum. Sardesai writes, including the Hindustan Times and Dainik Bhaskar. He has his own blog site and is the third most followed journalist in the world on social media site Twitter, now X. A graduate of St. Xavier's College in Mumbai, he has completed his master's and LLB from Oxford University and played cricket at Oxford and captained Mumbai schools. The Hindi edition of this book has just come out this week. Congratulations, Rajdeep. Tell us about how you came to write about this book, the fascination for political journalism, and highlights of the most recent election in which you have described what has been going on in great detail. Thank you.
First of all, thank you very much, Venkat, for having me here at the Foreign Correspondents Club. It's a great honor to be part of this, to be here at this wonderful institution, which goes back several decades. Particularly talking about a book like this. Look, the fact is that Indian election, it is a remarkable exercise that takes place, general elections every 5 years. Just the scale of it, 100 crore Indians are eligible now to vote. And at least 60 to 70% vote. So imagine 70 crore voters going and voting relatively peacefully every 5 years. and having a peaceful transfer of power. I'll never forget a story of Nawaz Sharif meeting Nawaz once in Jeddah. He was then in exile in Jeddah, and in front of us there was a TV set where there was a recorded program going on 2004 of Vajpayee debating office and Manmohan Singh taking over. In the gathering, Vajpayee was sitting in the audience, Manmohan Singh on stage, and Vajpayee clapped when Manmohan Singh was, made the prime minister in that, was being sworn in as prime minister in the gathering. So Nawaz Sharif turns to me and says, यार देखो तुम्हारा हिंदुस्तान में कैसे होता है, जो हारता है वो जीतने वाले को ताली बजाना है, मेरी हालत देखो, जनरल मुशर्रफ पावर में है, मैं यहाँ जेड्डा में बैठा हूँ, बेनजीर वहां दुबई में बैठी है और मिलिट्री हमारी कंट्री को रूल कर रही है. And I think sometimes we underestimate the power of Indian democracy and what Indian democracy means in terms of a peaceful transfer of power. Two countries that were almost separated at birth, you could say India and Pakistan. Pakistan, for almost half of the last 75 years, has had military rule. India has had democratic transfers of power. We can agree, disagree with, whether elections are free and fair, and we can debate that. And in fact, that's one of the reasons I've written these books, because I believe this is the third Venkat in the series. 2014, the election that changed India. 2019, how Modi won India. And 2024, the election that surprised India. All of these books are distinct in their way, but I think this is, in a way, the most important, because this shows the power of democracy, what happened last year. Think about it. The BJP government had just built the Ram Mandir. There was this entire Ab Ki Baar 400 Par. The BJP had complete control over the media narrative. They had complete control over institutional power. The ED had been used to put opposition leaders in jail. Despite that, the voter gave a verdict that can only be described as a message to all politicians across party lines. The BJP's arrogance of 400 nahi hai was tempered down, and they got 240. The opposition got 99. In a way, the main opposition, Congress, got 99. In a way, the message was Congress has done better, but not good enough. We don't trust you enough to give you 272. So every political party, in a sense, was sent a message by the voter. So I think the power of the voter came out so strongly. This election was fought by the Indian voter in a way. And that's why, unlike my previous books where I had Modi on the cover, Rahul Gandhi and Modi on the cover once, and Modi and Shah on the cover, this time I have a voter, really a woman voter. I believe increasingly the power of Indian elections is represented by the voters, especially women. And I think, therefore, 2024 is in many ways a landmark election, because it marks a pushback in our democracy in its own small way. जनता जो है ये पब्लिक है, ये सब जानती है. With all its limitations, with all the limitations of our democracy, and we can discuss those limitations, the truth of the matter is Indian democracy abhi bhi zinda hai. And therefore, I think this book was important for me to write, to tell the story not just of an election, but what has happened in the last 5 years, and indeed last 10 years. आप सोचिए ना, last 5 years went, 2 years went in COVID, farmers' agitation, CAA protests, as I said, arrests of opposition leaders, putting them in jail under ED. We've had lots of drama in Indian politics. Article 370 being withdrawn from Jammu and Kashmir being downsized to a union territory. Now, I've tried to capture all of that. So it's not just about the election. The problem is in India, we reduced election to number, kaun jeetega. But चुनाव के पहले क्या हुआ? What happened in the build-up to the election? What were the decisions taken? Why were they taken? That's been my attempt in all these books. 20 साल बाद तो लोग जाने कि क्या हुआ इस Modi decade. You want to call it the Modi decade in a way. Between 2014 and 2024, how has the Modi decade changed Indian politics? If you read all these three books, I think this is the third, as I said, it'll give you a sense, which I hope 20 years from now, people want to know what happened in this most dramatic, I think the 1980s, which you were an integral part as a journalist, and this decade, have been the most transformative decades in India in the 75 years. We can debate that, but that is my belief that the 80s and the 2014 to 24 decade have transformed Indian politics. And the rise of the BJP is one of the major transformations that's taken place in Indian politics. And I think that needed to be documented. That's what I've done in this book. And I've written it as a reporter, Venkat. I don't claim to be some intellectual. मैं कोई intellectual नहीं हूँ. Which are मुझे I wanted to tell the story. हम कहानी बताते हैं, and I think that is sometimes missing in our journalistic driven books. Bob Woodward writes it, you know, writes books on American election और हम उनकी वाहवाही करते हैं. Why can't we? I mean, I was very pleased that N. Ram sent me a message that your book is better than Bob Woodward's. I said, thank you, sir. But the truth of the matter is, I think we don't give enough space to writing on politics in a serious manner outside the usual 1500 word article. 1500 word ka article या 1 hour TV program can do no justice to the times in which we live. So therefore, it was necessary to write the book.
Well, thanks for that. Rajdeep, you said you have spent 18 months
Yeah.
putting this book together. Tell us about what went through and how you went about this book, because after Mirza Chaudhary's book, How Prime Ministers Decide, this is a very important contribution to history of India of the 21st century kind of thing. So tell us about what went into this, who all you spoke to. Of course, being a reporter and doing a chat show in India today, you had access to most of the leading personalities in Indian politics. Tell us something about the highlights of characters you came across.
Let me just go back in time. 2014, I wrote a book. I had just lost my job in CNN IBN. जब कभी नौकरी चली जाती है and you've got time, मैंने कहा यार मोदी जी has just come to power. First time a majority BJP government has come to power. Let me use the time I've got time off, नौकरी नहीं है, to write a book. So that's how the first book happened, 2014 election that changed India. And look at the build up to that also, the Anna agitation, Arvind Kejriwal, who tomorrow his fate will be decided. Uh, these new characters emerging, and Mr. Modi himself. So that was the first book. The second book was in the backdrop of all that had happened between 2014 and 19, demonetization, Pulwama, Balakot, all of which eventually resulted in Mr. Modi getting a huge majority. And I thought when I first started writing this trilogy, the third book in the trilogy was in March of 23. And I thought I would write the book on what I was going to call the conquest of India. The Modi Shah, these two characters, both from Gujarat, I call them Judy number one. These two characters had entered Indian politics and were taking it over, almost like an Ashwamedh Yagna. एक राज्य से दूसरे राज्य में जाना है, take over करना है, dominate the politics. So I was going to call it conquest. And conquest meant takeover of media, takeover of agencies, takeover of, in a way, of the instruments of democracy. So the first half of the book was written in 2023. And I stopped writing in about February of last year. So for about 1 year, I wrote the with Ram Mandir sort of opening aspect of the book. इतना बड़ा आपने इतने साल के बाद राम मंदिर बन गया, and the way Mr. Modi approached it. Then the elections happened. And the election surprised many people, including me. I actually thought the BJP would once again get 300 plus seats. I didn't think they would ever get 400, but I certainly thought they would get 300 plus seats. And I thought it was important to then understand कि हुआ क्या, कि इतने सब करने के बाद राम मंदिर बना दिया आपने, आर्टिकल 370 हटा दिया, you are seen as this nationalist hero. Despite that, even in Uttar Pradesh, the verdict didn't go in your favor. In Ayodhya, you lost. I mean, one of the most staggering election results was कि फैजाबाद में आप हार गए, जहां राम मंदिर बनी है. I said, we need to understand what happened behind the scenes. And the more I explored, the more I found out the battle between Yogi Adityanath and Amit Shah, the role of the RSS, Rahul Gandhi, Samvidhan Khatre mein hai. In my first two books I wrote, Rahul Gandhi has never missed an opportunity to miss an opportunity. But this time I thought, after the Bharat Jodo Yatra, like him or not, Rahul Gandhi was also able to, in a way, reinvent himself. So I thought it was important to document all of this. I used to get up at 5 in the morning and write till 9. Today, once 9 o'clock, after 9 o'clock today, with this WhatsApps and mobiles and breaking news, आपको समय नहीं मिलता है to write. But if you can spend those 3 or 4 hours every morning, you can write 500, 600 words. Even that's good enough. And that's what I started writing. So there are two parts to the book. One is the back backstory of what happened before 2024 general elections, and the other is what happened actually during the elections and the campaign. So it is a documentation effectively of the 5 years of this government. It starts, for example, with Amit Shah being sworn in as Home Minister. I think one of the big changes that took place in the last 5 years is Arun Jaitley was previously the Finance Minister and Rajnath Singh ji was the Home Minister. Once Amit Shah took over the Home Ministry, he has changed the way this government now approaches, uh, I think, governance. For example, in Mr. Modi's first term, since we are the foreign correspondents term, Mr. Modi went to try and meet Nawaz Sharif. Suddenly, overnight, decided, वो अब कुछ नहीं होना. Now you're very clear. This is as one of my chapters. ये हिंदुत्व की सरकार है. Now we are not going to compromise with Pakistan or travel to Pakistan. No पप्पी झप्पी कुछ नहीं करना है. For 50, 60 years, we have been waiting for Article 370 to be withdrawn. Now हम करेंगे. जो हमने किया हम करेंगे. उसमें गलत हो सही हो वो बात अलग है. And इसलिए करना ही करना है. So I think you've got a very different kind of government now. Modi is the big boss. Amit Shah is also a very important character, I think. So these, to my mind, these are the two key characters on one side. And on the other side, you've got Rahul Gandhi, who in a way is still, I mean, not comfortable with the idea of politics. I still maintain. For him, power is poison. उसने कहा है, power is poison. Now you can agree with Rahul, disagree with him. And you have to admire him at one level. कि इतना, how much criticism he's had, but लगे रहा. He's not backed out. And then, of course, you have Sharad Pawar, all these state leaders, Mamta Banerjee. These are all fascinating characters. Indian politics, as you read the book, you will find these are all fascinating characters. I mean, Sharad Pawar at 84, lage rahe hain, 50 years. Mamta Banerjee, probably the only self-made woman politician. No man, she had no male help. The male West Bengal unit was dead against her. Siddharamaiah, again, an interesting character in himself. Uh, so you can create Yogi Adityanath. I mean, India's populous state is run by a monk from Gorakhpur. अब कौन सी दुनिया में होता है कि someone who's a religious monk then comes and takes over India's most populous state. So that's what I said. Last decade is seeing dramatic changes of a kind that we have not seen in Indian politics, I think, for the first 6 decades. Which is why, my aim was to tell these stories of these politicians. How did they get where they are? उनकी पीछे बैक स्टोरी क्या, like Yogi Adityanath in his first meeting with his police officer said very clearly कि मुझे लिस्ट चाहिए कितने गैंग्स है यूपी और मुझे बताइए आप क्या करने वाले हैं उनका. you know that was something which was, even the police officers didn't know how to respond to that. Here is the chief minister saying मुझे सब गैंग की लिस्ट चाहिए और मुझे बताइए आप क्या करने वाले हैं. या in Maharashtra, Devendra Fadnavis was sworn in at 7 o'clock in the morning. President's rule was withdrawn at 2 a.m. Sarkar lasted only 6 days. And the backstory is very interesting. Role of Gautam Adani in that. Gautam Adani was the one who tried to bring Sharad Pawar and Narendra Modi closer together. They almost struck a deal. I mean, these are the kind of stories I think that need to be told. कि Gautam Adani क्या कर रहे थे politics में? That meetings are taking place with Gautam Adani trying to bring Sharad Pawar and Narendra Modi together. And each of these, or how Amit Shah won his first election. To me, that is my favorite story. आज जब दिल्ली का चुनाव कल होने वाला है, Amit Shah's model started in his first election in and it has not been denied by Amit Shah. उसके कुछ समझने के लिए आपने ऐसी स्टोरी लिखी, वो स्टोरी बिल्कुल सही है. कॉलेज का चुनाव था. Half the college students were girls, half boys, and he was contesting against an NSUI candidate who's a girl, woman. And Amit Shah को डर था कि सभी महिलाएं will vote for the girl candidate, पुरुष में divide vote हो जाएगा and he will lose. करते क्या है? They got the addresses of all the girls and their parents. either rang them up or send them chits. तब तो मोबाइल भी नहीं था 80s में. Send them chits to the house and said, कल आपकी बेटी को कॉलेज मत भेजिए, तूफान होगा. Out of the 40, 50 girls, 25 didn't land up. Amit Shah won by 10 votes. अब कल आप दिल्ली में भी देखेंगे कुछ कंस्टिट्यूंसी में यही हुआ है. किस तरह से इंडिपेंडेंट कैंडिडेट को रखना है, किसको स्पॉन्सर करना है, कैसे वोट डिवाइड हो जाए. Now, all these stories need to be told. People need to understand what you are dealing with. Amit Shah is a politician of a kind I don't think India has seen. The way he plays his politics. So that's these are the stories that I have tried to tell in this book. Chhagan Bhujbal ki story hai. I meet him on in he's having whiskey and he says, यार मुझे कुछ तो करना है, मुझे रात को नींद नहीं आती. मैंने कहा क्यों? He said, नहीं ये ईडी मुझे फंसा रही है. So I said, what are you planning to do? He said, नहीं जैसे मैं सरकार में जाऊं ईडी मेरे पीछे से चली जाएगी. And that's exactly what happened. 1 month later, NCP broke and he joined the government. So, ED has become like a washing machine. These stories need to be told so that 20 years from now, India knows what happened, how politics was fought in the 21st century in this country. It's very different to the politics that was fought in the 20th century. You were covering Indira Gandhi. I think Narendra Modi and Amit Shah have taken ruthlessness of Indira Gandhi to another level. Indira Gandhi was ruthless. She dismissed government. She imposed emergency. Mr. Modi and Shah didn't even need to do that. See what has happened today. Arvind Kejriwal makes an allegation about 15 crores being offered. Immediately, Anti-Corruption Bureau has reached Amit Shah's house under LG's instruction. So, it's a new India in the way politics. It's not easy to be an opposition leader in India today. Very difficult. And it's not a level playing field anymore. And the role of the media is the final chapter, which I think for me is the most important chapter. What is the role of the media? How is the media playing? Is the media really playing the role of a neutral, objective umpire? Or is the media become a 12th man for the government? वो पाकिस्तान अंपायर हुआ करते थे ना 1980s में. वो तो जब इंडियन बैट्समैन के पैर पे बॉल लगता था तो तुरंत उसे एलबीडब्ल्यू देते थे. Now, election commission has become like that. Any slightest thing happens to the opposition, election commission gets into the eye, and so does the media. Media asks questions of the opposition, not of the government. Yesterday when this thing happened, deportation, I mean, questions are not asked on that issue about, did you have a conversation with Trump? What is the policy you're going to follow for deportation? So I think all of this needs to be reflected in the hope that maybe 20 years from now, or maybe even today, people will realize the times in which we live.
This Godi media has become a very popular kind of expression to use against media houses, newspapers, TV channels, which are doing the establishment, are Mr. Modi's and the Home Minister Chattagiri. What are your views on this aspect that people do not respect newspapers or television channels the way they used to in the 80s or even earlier? Because it seems as if the channels now owned by businessmen are competing with each other to do chamchagiri. How do you look at that?
Venkat, let's be honest. You will know the decade before. You were a journalist in the 70s and 80s. Let's be honest. During Indira Gandhi's time of emergency, most newspaper owners also said Sakshang Namaskar to Indira Gandhi. ऐसा नहीं है कि Godi media only started after 2014. India has always had Godi media. Only difference is किसकी गोदी में बैठे हो. And the other difference is now it is brazen. अभी कोई धर्म ईमान कुछ नहीं है. तब थोड़े जर्नलिस्ट को धर्म ईमान की बात आती थी. We are journalists. We have to be careful. अब कोई जो that is the big difference between then and now. This term Godi media was used by my friend Ravish Kumar. But look, the truth of the matter is today politicians know how to control media owners. That is the truth. They have managed. They understand कि यार media में थोड़ा pressure डाल दो on those who are running most media houses, and we can get our job done. And the problem is many of these media owners are not this. Today, the two biggest networks on television in terms of their size, Network 18 and to some extent NDTV, are owned by India's two biggest businessmen. And they have taken over the media for what? 1,500, 2,000 crores, 800 crores. What is that for a big media conglomerate that is worth more than 1 lakh crores? Loose change. What does the journalist do? You see, let's not blame the journalists or reporters. You see, Godi media से मुझे problem है जैसे journalists are Godi. Journalists are not. हर journalist चाहता है सवाल पूछे press conference में. They ask the right question. It's not there. The problem is with the way in which ownership is structured. We should say Godi owners. Why say Godi media? Godi owners बोलो ना. और गोदी ओनर्स में जरूर कुछ मीडिया वाले होंगे बिकॉज बट दे आर नॉट ऑल वांटिंग टू डू एंड आल्सो द पॉलिटिशियंस हैव बिकम इंटॉलरेंट ऑफ एनी क्रिटिसिज्म टुडे व्हेन राहुल गांधी इज आस्क्ड अ क्वेश्चन बाय अ जर्नलिस्ट इन अ प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस अरे तुम्हारा बीजेपी की क्वेश्चन है दूसरी तरफ नरेंद्र मोदी डज नॉट इवन डू अ प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस तो हम फंस गए एक लीडर प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस करता नहीं है दूसरा लीडर प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस करता है लेकिन उसमें कोई सवाल पूछे तो यू अक्यूज हिम ऑफ बीइंग अ बीजेपी एजेंट जर्नलिस्ट करे तो क्या करे and how do you resist the pressure of your owners? It's the owners who are driving this. I want to see what happens if God forbid or let's see no government lasts forever 10 साल बाद अगर non BJP government बन जाए तो you will see how some of these Godi owners will also do somersault सब Olympics में gymnastics so they will also change. This is about ownership, this is about control, this is about fear. And frankly, Venkat, if you look at today, who is the biggest advertiser on news channels? It's governments. Most governments are the ones, whether it's UP government, whether it's Punjab government, they are your big. How will you now criticize the Punjab government? Aam Aadmi Party. All states are the same. Let's not only blame Modi government at the center. Every government, and I give you examples in this book, wants to control the media. And I also give the story of NDTV. Which according to me is the most egregious example of how media can be controlled. आपने प्रणव रॉय पर ईडी सीबीआई सब कुछ लगा दिया 2017-18 में यहां तक कि ही वाज नॉट अलाउड टू लीव द कंट्री लुकआउट नोटिस लगा दी 5-6 साल यू कंटिन्यूड लाइक दिस लास्ट मंथ सीबीआई टेल्स दिल्ली हाई कोर्ट वी हैव नो एविडेंस नथिंग देयर इन द केस इन दोस 6 years he had to virtually sell his company to Adani. And I met an immigration official who told me जब आप डॉक्टर रॉय से मिलोगे मेरी तरफ से क्षमा मांग लेना मैंने ये नहीं उनको रोका नहीं था एयरपोर्ट पे वो मुझे ऑर्डर्स ऊपर से आए थे या एनराम gives the entire example. Narendra Modi ji met him at some function and एनराम said सर आप एनडीटीवी के पीछे क्यों लगे हो तो आप उनको खत्म क्यों करना चाहते हो एंड प्राइम मिनिस्टर से अरे खत्म क्या वो तो खत्म ही हो गया है on record, not denied by anyone. So, अब ये Godi media term is, I think we should change it to Godi owners.
Rajdeep, the BJP controls half the states in the country. But in the past 10 years, since the BJP came to power, they have toppled at least 10 governments. 6 governments during the first term, Arunachal, Uttarakhand, Goa, Manipur, Bihar, and Karnataka. During the second term, Madhya Pradesh, Maharashtra, Karnataka, and Jharkhand. The fact that democratically elected representatives of the people, be it MLAs or MPs, are being bribed or forced by putting ED cases against them and all that, and then you take over the government. What do you think about this?
Look, again, let's go back into the past. Indira Gandhi dismissed more governments than any other prime minister, misused Article 356. So it's not as if this dismissal of opposition ruled governments or Ayaram, Gayaram started with Indira Gandhi, did wholesale defections, for example, with Bhajan Lal. And brought the same thing. You see, the BJP is doing. BJP has adopted the Congress model at some level, but does it more brazen. कांग्रेस के टाइम पे थोड़ी शर्म हया तब देश में भी हुआ करती थी, क्या सही है क्या गलत है, अब वो कोई नहीं है. आप जो भी करोगे साम दाम दंड भेद, इट हैज गॉट नॉर्मलाइज्ड. टुडे टू टेक एमएलएस फ्रॉम द असेंबली टू अ रिसोर्ट, वहां रिसोर्ट में अच्छी तरह से उनकी खातिरदारी करो, हैज ऑलमोस्ट बिकम नॉर्मलाइज्ड. Every defector in Maharashtra, Venkat won the elections. All those who had defected from whether Shiv Sena or NCP, all of them have won the election. All defectors. Public को भी कोई ये नहीं है, चलो यार defect कर दिया ठीक है, but he will do something for us. So the public also doesn't seem to mind defections. All these governments that you say were brought down. Arunachal government was brought down by merging Arunachal Congress with the BJP. But Prema Khandu has won 2 elections since then. Manipur, again the government was manipulated, has come back to power. Goa, BJP वापस आ गई सत्ता में. So you and I can discuss here and say, यार ये क्या हो रहा है, सरकार गिरवा रहे हैं. Truth of the matter, public के लिए चलता है. So, I think we have to understand the public has now normalized unethical political behavior. The voter doesn't care. Voter has become transactional. मुझे क्या मिलेगा, 1500 रुपए आप दे रहे हो महिलाओं के लिए अंडर लाडकी, भाई चलो यार 1500 ले लेते हैं, हम जानते हैं ये 1500 करोड़ बना रहे हैं, we'll make at least 1500. ठीक है, we'll vote for you. Look at what's happening in Delhi. One side says I'll give you 2500 to women, other side says 2100. We've got competitive freebies. So public today is not worried about defections, about the way governments are. You and I may be worried about democracy. Janta Singh chalta hai. I was shocked. I was in Ahmedabad a few days ago. Section 144 is in place in Ahmedabad for the last 10 years. 10 years. 10 साल से Section 144 Ahmedabad में. Every 6 months it is routinely renewed. You cannot hold a gathering of more than 4 people in Gujarat without police permission. Even today. No. The fact is that is what is happening at the moment. 10 साल से सेक्शन 144 लागू है. पब्लिक को कोई चिंता नहीं है. पब्लिक कह रही ठीक है कर दो, आप हमें कोल्ड प्ले की कॉन्सर्ट दिखा रहे हो, वी आर हैप्पी. कौन प्रोटेस्ट करेगा? हमको 4 लेन का हाईवे मिल गया है, हमको डिजिटल ट्रांजैक्शन मिल रहे हैं, वी आर हैप्पी. That is all I'm saying. Unethical behavior, whether it is imposing Section 144 for 10 years, whether it is engineering defections, bringing down governments, the public out there doesn't seem as concerned. Public area, theek hai. In fact, there was a Pew survey poll which said that most Indians would prefer dictatorship. I have no problem with dictatorship. Which is why I think the 2024 election was important. It showed that actually there are enough Indians who say, nahi, बहुत हो गया, one leader, one nation, one party नहीं चलेगा. Different parts of India vote differently. This is the most diverse country in the world. So I think, we are entering very, very difficult times for democracy in this country, but there are also stories of hope. And I have a full chapter on stories of hope of Indians who have shown without money power, you can still win. Money is transforming Indian election, no doubt. Allegations in Delhi, for example, people are buying votes for 2,000, 5,000 for a vote. I heard it in Maharashtra also. But despite that, there are some candidates, despite not having big money. But big money, I think, is the biggest curse. We have discovered what is defection. You are buying over people. I was very interested. The other day, I was in Trident Hotel in Mumbai. So I met an old minister from Maharashtra. He said, अरे मेरे टेरेस मैंने स्वीट में बैठा हूँ, आप आइए वहाँ. तो मैंने उसके असिस्टेंट से पूछा, यार your boss is in a suite, बड़ा he is having a good time. He said, sir, उसने डील कर दी. When he defected, he said, मेरे को 3 साल के लिए स्वीट भी चाहिए. He has managed to get a 3-year suite as part of his deal, sweetheart deal. At one of the hotels, I won't mention the hotel, at one of the hotels. No, I said I met him at the Trident. I met him at the Trident, but he's in a hotel in Mumbai, or in a suite, 3-year deal as part. तो cash भी मिला और kind भी मिल गया. Now, he won the election in Maharashtra 2 months ago by a big margin. In fact, a bigger margin than he had won 5 years before that. पब्लिक को कोई लेना देना नहीं है. पब्लिक कह रही है ठीक है, उसने हमारे लिए थोड़ा काम किया होगा. I don't care then फिर वो क्या कर रहा है, किस पार्टी. One in every 3 Maharashtra MLAs in the last 10 years has been in more than one party. This is in one of India's at one time most stable states. Today, Maharashtra has become, as I say, we used to say Aya Ram, Gaya Ram. We should now say Aya Patil, Gaya Patil. So you're right that that is a problem. And the other part of it is the role of the ED in this. The moment the same MLAs who are facing criminal cases or enforcement cases or money laundering charges switch sides, all cases have gone cold. So what is the message? आप हमारे साथ आ जाओ, हम आपके सब पाप धुला देंगे. Washing machine.
You see, the Prime Minister calls the freebies being offered by the Stalins or the Kejriwals of the world as revdi. But he is giving free rations to 80 crores of people. And he's also giving money to bahans and ladli betis and all that. And he doesn't call them revdi. What do you think about that?
See, I want to be fair to the Prime Minister here. I don't think this was started by Narendra Modi. This whole freebie culture. This started in your home state of Tamil Nadu, if you remember. With Jayalalitha, with Karnanidhi. Now, you have to decide what is a revdi and what is welfareism. I think if you are able to provide free education, free health, I don't classify that as revdi. I believe it is genuinely welfareist. If you have a scheme where you can link, as Nitish Kumar has done, as to some extent Mamata Banerjee has done, if a girl child goes to class 8 or beyond, then the family gets certain benefits. If her marriage is delayed, they get certain. If she goes to college, they get certain benefits. Nitish Kumar has tried that in Bihar. Mamata has tried it with in Bengal. Those are not revdis, according to me. Revdis are when you give something which clearly has no real tangible welfare benefit. It's like throwing cash in hand. 1500 रुपए आपने महिला को देते हो. I'm not sure that's welfareism. That's a bribe. Free bus rides. Some women will say it empowers them. मुझे free bus में मिल रहा है, मैं बाहर जा सकती हूँ, काम कर सकती हूँ. You've started it in Karnataka, you've done it in Delhi. You could argue that some will argue वो भी रेवड़ी है. Others will say नहीं वो महिलाओं को empower कर रहा है. So we have to decide in this debate, including the Prime Minister, needs to tell us what is a revdi and what is a welfare. आप 2000 रुपए किसान को दे रहे हो again under Kisan Samman Yojana. Is that a revdi or is that welfare? 80 crore ration, 80 crore Indians are getting ration. Is that revdi or welfare? Yes, you needed it during COVID times. People were suffering. Do you still need it? I mean, I think we have to revdi and welfare paribhasha. What do you mean by a revdi? When does a revdi become welfareism? It cannot be that your revdi is my welfareism. मैं पैसा देता हूँ, it's welfareism. तुम पैसे देते हो, वो revdi है. Free power. I mean, most of our state electricity boards are struggling because every government now is being pushed to give free power. So I think revdi requires a separate debate. Prime Minister should join it. And so should opposition leaders. And ask yourself what is acceptable and what is not. Otherwise, you're bribing voters today, Venkat, before every election.
Now, BJP came to power in 2014 by winning 282 seats and a 31% by bagging 31% of the popular vote. In 2019, they won 303 seats by getting 37.3% vote. And in 2024, they won 240 seats by getting 36.6% of the vote. That means they're basically running the country minority vote. The same thing Nehru did, Indira Gandhi did. Nobody ever got more than 40+%. Now, even today, in spite of so many losses under the leadership of Mr. Rahul Gandhi, every fifth voter votes for the Congress party. And you have said that just like the Congress party dominated Indian politics for the first half century or so, are we going to be with the BJP led NDA till 2047? Do you see any hope given the kind of leadership the Congress party has at the moment? Do you see any hope of the Congress being able to get more than 20% of the popular vote? How do you look at the future of this country for the next, till let's say 2047?
Look, we are, Venkat, in the age of the BJP. The BJP is the dominant party of of our times. Let's look at the Congress. The Congress was the dominant party of India, of post-independence India, from 52 to 77. There was one small gap in 67 where Indira Gandhi was slightly tested. But broadly, you would say about 25 years of total Congress domination in this country, benefiting from the fact that their leaders had participated in the freedom movement. Uh, Today, BJP has come to power in 2014. They also perhaps will look at 20 to 25 years as a period of BJP domination. I don't want to predict what will happen in 2047. In India, never predict what will happen tomorrow. This is the most difficult country to predict the future. If you had asked me in 2001, when Modi ji went to Gujarat as chief minister, ki this man will be 3-time prime minister of India, I would have said you are joking. He had never won a municipal election when he went to Gujarat. But today he's a 3-time prime minister. So let's not predict the future. But I think we have to accept that Indian politics center of gravity has shifted to the right. That religion now is part of Indian politics. Religious nationalism has become part of Indian politics. And this has been building up since 89-90, since the Rath Yatra. The BJP has been a party on the rise since 89. And the Congress has been a party on decline from 89. We are only singling out Rahul Gandhi. Even before Rahul Gandhi, Congress was on the decline. I mean, Congress has never got a majority in an Indian election since 1984. And even that election was sympathy for Mrs. Gandhi and the way she had been shot. If you look at a lot of the state elections in the 80s, Congress lost in a number of states. NPR comes to power in Andhra. Ramakrishna Hegde comes to power in Karnataka. There was a general decline of the Congress party. So it's been a long-term decline and a clear rise of the BJP. My concern for the Congress party is that the Congress party is not learning its lessons. I mean, as an observer, the Congress party is pushing itself so far to the left that it is missing the real political center of this country. Congress की ताकत क्या थी? सबको साथ लेकर तुम भी चलो, हम भी चले. We have different ideology. मिलकर साथ चलते. That's not happening at the moment. Why are so many people close to Rahul Gandhi leaving the Congress? Because Rahul Gandhi has been unable to carry the entire party with him. Because he's pushing the party, in my view, too far towards the left. Congress needs to occupy the political center. Not so far, because then you're giving the BJP every opportunity to occupy both the right and the center. But I do believe that Indians, young Indians in particular, are looking for change. They're not all, I think Mr. Modi has for 10 years been India's most formidable political brand, no doubt about it. But nothing lasts forever. And I think in 2024, the reason why Mr. Modi survived is because a lot of people said, I'm not thrilled with Mr. Modi, but dusri taraf kya hai? You see, unless you provide clear, credible alternatives and options, you're not going to defeat someone as strong as Mr. Modi. Look at the Aam Aadmi and the Congress. 6 months ago, you were fighting an election together in Delhi. Now you're calling each other anti-national and corrupt. What is the message to the voter? So I think unless you are able to create a cohesive, credible alternative, I don't see it. The BJP is ideologically strong, organizationally robust, has all the resources with all the money power you need, and it has a charismatic leader. So the RSS's machine, Modi's charisma, resources that have been accumulated from your period in power, and your organization and ideology of your karyakartas. Someone gave me a good word for him. that Modi represents Hind. What does Hind stand for? H for Hinduism, I for infrastructure, N for nationalism, D for delivery. In these four things, somewhere Modi will catch you. कुछ लोग कहेंगे अरे यार डिलीवरी कर दी, हमको 4 लेन हाईवे बना दिया. कुछ लोग कहेंगे नो नो मोदी हैज मेड अ स्ट्रांग नेशनलिस्ट. देखो देश का क्या नाम रोशन कर दिया. किया है नहीं किया वो बात अलग है, परसेप्शन है. इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर, as I said, 4 लेन highways are being built. And Hinduism, हम सब हिंदू हैं. So to face that kind of a force, you will need someone stronger than what Rahul Gandhi on his own represents today. You're going to need to create a new kind of politics to combat this Hind factor. What is your idea? मैं आपके लिए वोट क्यों दूं? You can't be voting for people only कि आप मोदी जी के खिलाफ है हमें वोट दीजिए. You will have to tell me what you stand for, and I think that's the weakness of the opposition in the country at the moment. They are not able to convince majority of Indians what they stand.
See, in 2024, the NDA got 93 seats by polling 43.6% of the vote. I thought the India alliance was a good idea. They managed to win 230 seats, just six seats less than the BJP on its own. And they polled 36.7% of the popular vote. But as soon as the Lok Sabha elections were over, each one of those people involved in that won the election. In the Congress, from 52 it becomes 99 in the Lok Sabha. They think, okay, we are coming to power. And now they're fighting separately. Do you think the India alliance, the opposition, will ever get their act together and pose a challenge to the BJP, machine?
Very difficult. It's a great question, and I think part of the problem is Congress won 99 and thought they had won 272. BJP won 240 and thought they had won 400. Both are wrong. But the problem with the opposition at the moment, particularly the Congress party, is that they do not know how to take others along with them. Ekla chalo re. Ekla chalo re mein ab wo nahi chalega. It could have worked 30, 40 years ago when you were the dominant party. Interestingly, till 2 years ago, there were 9 chief ministers who are former congressmen who are now in other parties. 9. So one option was you would have by now thought Congress would try to unite all congressmen at least in one umbrella. Sharad Pawar is a former congressman. Mamta Banerjee is a former congressman. Jagan Mohan Reddy is a former congressman. You should have brought them together under one umbrella. You could have tried that at least. But India alliance, beyond the point, was never going to work. How do you expect the Congress and left, for example, to be part of an alliance when you're fighting each other in Kerala? Aam Aadmi Party is determined to grow on its own. Kejriwal also sees himself as a contender to challenge Modi. So, I mean, there are too many contradictions in the opposition. The only way to strengthen the opposition is for the Congress to be ready to either reunite all old congresspersons under one umbrella or be ready to share power with others. But this ekla chalo re ki hum hi jante hain how to run India, baki aapko aana hai ki it won't work anymore. That sense of entitlement is gone. And especially when you're fighting BJP under Modi Shah. Only today one RSS person was telling me, हमने 20,000 meeting, 20,000 meetings we have done in the last 3 months in the Jhuggi Jhopdis of Delhi. If tomorrow the results turn out to be as way exit polls are saying, these are among the hidden factors. They are ready to do that last mile work. Congress wants to win elections on the basis कि यार लोग बीजेपी से एक ना एक दिन तंग आ जाएंगे और कहेंगे नहीं कांग्रेस चाहिए. That world is gone. That लोग अपने आप आपकी तरफ आ जाएंगे. राहुल गांधी से मैं तो कितना, he is only 50, I am only 55. Modi is 75. एक ना एक दिन मोदी जी भी बूढ़े हो जाएंगे, then they will come to me. ऐसे नहीं होता है. Politics overtakes you. It's very interesting. States which the Congress has lost twice in succession, except I think for possibly Telangana, where after 2 successive, in most cases, once the Congress loses 2 consecutive elections, they start slowly withering away. They find it very difficult to make comeback because what is holding the Congress together today? Where is your cadre? Imagine Sheila Dikshit dominated Delhi for 15 years. But in the last 10 years, Congress has not won one seat, not one. अब यहाँ से बिल्कुल यहाँ आ गए आप. Because your entire cadre has gone with Aam Aadmi Party. And you can't win Indian election now without booth level connectivity. You have to connect at the booth level. That is where that's where Modi Shah have changed the rules of the game. I know I liken them to Virat Kohli. My father was a test cricketer. My father was nice and fat, enjoyed his life and all that. वो साला रेस्ट डे पे जाते थे मोती महल to have competition कौन ज्यादा तंदूरी चिकन खाएगा. They had दरियागंज पे जाते थे when a test match took place. In Virat Kohli generation वो सब नहीं चलेगा. You have to be super fit. Similarly, to take on Modi Shah, you have to be super fit. वो साम दाम दंड भेद राजनीति करते हैं. आपको कहीं ना कहीं उनको कॉम्बैट करना ही पड़ेगा. आप घर में बैठकर just before an election come and wave and say, my daddy was a politician, Nani was a politician, please vote for us. वो नहीं चलने वाला. Politics has become very competitive. I mean, it's become immoral. I don't approve of it. But I'm not in politics. But if you are in politics and people around you have made politics so immoral, how are you going to combat them? I sometimes fear Venkat, if Gandhi contested an election today, Mahatma Gandhi, he would lose his deposit. वो कहता नहीं मैं पैसे नहीं लूंगा, मैं ये नहीं करूंगा, मैं वोट बैंक की राजनीति नहीं करूंगा, हिंदू मुस्लिम नहीं करूंगा. How are you going to win? The other side is playing brazen Muslim politics. BJP said so many Congress is playing Muslim appeasement. Now you are playing Hindu appeasement. So politics has unfortunately become very, very, and that's why there's a chapter in the book on Maharashtra. I give Maharashtra as an example. क्या क्या नहीं हुआ है उस राज्य में. Every agency, every institution has been misused only to get power. सत्ता की लड़ाई. कुछ भी करेंगे, सत्ता चाहिए. On the other hand, Rahul Gandhi says power is poison.
Rajdeep, it was in 1919 that Motilal Nehru became the president of the Congress party. Then he handed it over to Nehru. Since then, meaning the last 106 years, as of now, the Nehru family, Nehru Gandhi family, nothing to do with Mahatma Gandhi, has dominated Indian politics. Priyanka Gandhi is the 15th member of the family to have entered parliament as a minister. The party produced 3 prime ministers, 6 Congress party presidents. Now, you see, their popular vote base has come down to 20. Do you think the family's time is up in the Congress party? Is there a possibility of any other individual or group of people taking over from the dynasty and trying to lead a opposition to take on this huge BJP voting machine?
Venkat, that is $1 million question. Whether the Congress can survive without the Gandhis. You see, the Gandhis are both an asset for the Congress and a liability. Without the Gandhis, the Congress may well fracture. There is no other leader who can hold it together, barring a Gandhi. Let's be fair to Rahul Gandhi. He now, after the Bharat Jodo Yatra in particular, has within the Congress party earned a measure of respect among the workers who say, "Kam se kam wo hame ek ideological disha to de raha hai." So I think he's still the number one among the Congress party. But the truth of the matter is, the voter, forget the Congress party workers, voter wants politics now to move out of family Raj after a point. You see, when the Prime Minister said in his speech the other day, that 3 members of one family are in parliament, would 3 members of a scheduled caste or scheduled tribe family be in parliament? It strikes a chord. Right? My son's generation wants more meritocrats. They don't want people to enter politics only because वो किसी family से आता है. And this is true of all parties. हम लोग कांग्रेस को single out करते हैं. Look at most of the regional parties. Most of them are also run around family. In Maharashtra, BJP, Congress, every party is run around families today. So I think Congress has to recognize that there is a new India with new energies. I sometimes jokingly say India is caught between a dynast and a despot. मोदी डिक्टेटर है, दूसरी तरफ डिनिस्ट है. आप दोनों के बीच में देश फंस गया है. India really needs new energies, new talents, frankly. But politics doesn't allow it. There is a huge difficult. I mean, Aam Aadmi Party, frankly, let's be fair to them. In 12 years, did a remarkable job to come to power in states and become a national party. Not easy. In India, to set up a startup party today is very difficult because of money. Look at the amounts of money people are spending on election. I was in Telangana the other day, and one of the politicians told me he had spent 75 crores in an MLA election, and he still lost. He said my rival spent 100 crores for an MLA election. So how do I, when we say after the guy, who are you? Is the Congress party willing to give up the umbilical cord with the Gandhis? Gandhis may not be willing, but the Rahul Gandhi, to be fair, I must be fair to him. He doesn't want, when he says power is poison, he himself admits in a way that he is the fifth generation. From Motilal Nehru to him, he doesn't want power. I mean, I think it's to his credit. I have never seen Rahul Gandhi hankering for power. Let's look at the flip side of it. Rahul Gandhi is not wanting to play this power politics. But the party he resigned from the Congress as Congress president in 2019. Party insists, nahi, humko to Rahul hi chahiye. Party says it. So I think unless the Congress party, or I have said Rahul Gandhi should break the Congress and form his own party, like Indira Gandhi did. Apni party banao, apne image. Then you can, otherwise until then people will say, wo to इसीलिए है कि वो सोनिया गांधी या राजीव गांधी का बेटा है. How do you break with that? How do you create your own party in your own image? But otherwise, in general, the Congress party is today without a strong organization, without a clear ideology, and frankly, without a kind of leadership that a new India needs. So I don't want to only blame the Gandhis. I think there's a fundamental problem with the Congress party for the last 30, 35 years.
Okay, let's just throw the session open to questions. Yeah, kindly raise your hand.
Sure, sir.
Yeah,
Go
okay,
ahead,
fine.
Hi,
Yeah.
sir.
Yeah, just a minute. Ashok, use the microphone, please.
Yeah. As you collect inputs for your next book covering 2029 elections, how do you read the political graph of Yogi Adityanath? Do you think he would have left Amit Shah way behind by then?
So I don't want to look 5 years from now. I don't think I'll even write a book 5 years from now. Ab thak gaye. But the truth of the matter is, one of the questions in your question is one of the most intriguing questions. After Modi, who? I'm sure this question was asked in the early 60s after Nehru, who? And I think we will reach a stage in about 2029, 30 when this question will become a major question. After Modi, who? By then Modi will be 80. And you would expect someone. Now, certainly Yogi Adityanath is one of the contenders. Amit Shah is also a contender. And as I write in the book, one of the reasons for the BJP's less than spectacular performance in UP was the fight between Shah and Modi. All the names that are between Shah and Yogi, all the names Yogi Adityanath had suggested as candidates, Amit Shah rejected them. ये लड़ाई होने वाली है. देखो, बीजेपी is a Hindu divided family that way. वो जनता के सामने they look Hindu undivided, but अंदर में they are just waiting to see कि मोदी के बाद क्या होगा. And Mr. Yogi Adityanath is certainly one of the players there. But we will have to see whether by then Hindutva has got so normalized, this politics of religious nationalism across India, that he will be accepted from Kashmir to Kanyakumari. Having said that, I think same thing was said about Narendra Modi when he became BJP leader in 2013 or their prime minister. क्या मोदी चला पाएगा India? 10 साल चला दिए. Then he was seen as the Hindutva hero. Now Yogi is seen by the party as Hindutva hero. If you ask BJP cadres who is the leader you most respect after Modi, many of them will say Yogi Adityanath. So for the BJP workers, certainly the leader of the future.
Hello, Mr. Rajdeep. It was a very good talk, means in the sense in-depth analysis, right, with absolute clarity. My one question, like you talked about, means Modi and Shah. So my question is, how do you see their friendship as a matter of convenience or as a chemistry means chemical bonding? Like we have seen in 1977, right? Means one by one, everyone deserted. Even Jagjeevan Ram deserted Indira Gandhi. So it may happen or it's a matter of convenience, the bonding.
Very good question. In my book, I say Modi and Shah are two bodies in one soul. बॉडी दो है, आत्मा एक है. ये एक दूसरे के साथ बड़े हुए हैं एक तरह से from 80s. So we are talking about 40 years in public life. Modi and Shah have worked closely together. वो 40 साल का इतिहास इतने आसानी से नहीं बदलने वाला. And they need each other because they know too much about each other. So मुझे नहीं लगता है कि मोदी शाह they are joint at the hip. बीच बीच में कोई, it's not like Advani Vajpayee. That is very different. You see, Advani Vajpayee was very different relationship. Vajpayee may have been the tallest leader of the BJP, but Advani was also seen as a leader of big stature. Here it's clear Mr. Modi is still here, Amit Shah is here. And Shah accepts Mr. Modi as his senior. So I don't see them having a clash in that. What Shah would like is that Mr. Modi should make him his successor. कि मैं अनाउंस तो कर दूं ताकि आसानी हो जाए कि मेरे बाद अमित शाह, वो मोदी जी नहीं करेंगे.
Good evening, sir. I want to ask you one thing. You talked about Rahul. What do you want to say about? And my second question is: do you think that nowadays regional political parties are playing an important or vital role in national politics?
Regional parties.
Regional parties.
Yeah. The first question on Priyanka Gandhi Vadra. Now, please look at her situation. She was for a long time General Secretary in charge of UP. But when it comes to an election, you send her to Wayanad. You see, if Priyanka, where is the Congress's biggest challenge today? North India, Hindi heartland. Where is Priyanka Gandhi likely to have the most impact for you? Hindi heartland. You have given her so Priyanka Gandhi is still untested. The one election she was put in focus was UP in 2022. Lost, I think, only one seat, lost its deposit in most. So Priyanka Gandhi is untested. वही मैंने कहा ना, वो नहीं हो सकता कि वो गांधी परिवार से है इसीलिए हम उसको वोट देंगे. That India is over. आपको आप जमीन पर आपकी मेहनत दिखानी पड़ेगी. She will have to go out and stay on the ground. मोदी शाह 365 दिन यही करते हैं राजनीति. So that's as far as Priyanka Gandhi goes. I think the Congress will have to give her a clear, defined role. कोई एक clear, defined role होनी पड़ेगी. Not only election time, but through the year. Regional parties are here to stay. Let's be honest. Regional parties में संगठन होता है, नेता होता है, और resources होते हैं. That's why they are able to survive. Whether it's a DMK, a Trinamool Congress, to some extent Telangana Rashtra Samiti, or now Bharatiya Rashtra Samiti. Regional parties are very, very strong. Let's not, but regional parties are stronger in state elections. Not so much in a general election, which becomes a national election. So I think regional parties will always have a future in India, especially in some states like Bengal, Tamil Nadu, which have a distinct culture of their own. They may not survive across India. Hindi heartland में मुश्किल है regional party. Hindi heartland में हिंदी, हिंदू, हिंदुस्तान का जो नारा है has become very strong. Hindu nationalist politics is very strong in the Indian. So regional parties are more attuned to the politics of the South and the East.
The copies are available outside at a special rate. Whoever wants to buy, he'll be very happy to autograph them.
Namaste. This is Ravi Misra from organizer. I have one question. You talked about Modi media. So very senior journalist, Sagrika Sardesai ji, she was sent to Rajya Sabha by Mamata Banerjee. So what is the real definition of Modi media? First question. And the second question is the kind of lawlessness and political violence in West Bengal during Lok Sabha election and also Vidhan Sabha election. It is not seen anywhere in any BJP ruled state or anywhere. So, what is the what you have? How you have explained this lawlessness in your book about West Bengal?
See, two parts to your question. First, the question on Sagrika Ghosh, you must ask Sagrika. The fact is, she left journalism formally in 2020. She was not a full-time journalist after 2020. You have to ask her whether, how, why, and how she chose to join a political party. Look, journalists have every right to join a political party. What I have a problem with is journalists who are not in politics but work for a political party. That's problematic. By all means, across the world, journalists join political party. No one calls them Godi media. But if you are in journalism and you then work continuously for a political party, that is Godi media in my view. So I have to make a distinction, but you must ask her the full answer. I have a chapter on Bengal. And you're absolutely right. I think Mamata Banerjee's politics has become the politics of confrontation. She took over from the left that confronted her, and in a way that politics of violence has existed now in Bengal for half a century. Whoever is in power is looking to control Bengal by strong arm tactics. Because the cadres of the left shifted to Trinamool. Tomorrow, who is to say those same Trinamool Congress cadres will shift to the BJP? The political culture of Bengal is steeped, unfortunately, in violence at the moment. And that is deeply troubling. You're absolutely right. No, but that is the trouble. The problem, though, is whoever comes to power now, if you think that the BJP comes to power or wo Bengal ko sonar bangla banayenge, I mean, look at the violence that the BJP also resorts to in Bengal. BJP in Bengal is दूध से धुली हुई नहीं है. They are also playing that same, because the states political, like there are some southern states where money power is now so steeped into that state politics that 50-60 crore ke bagair you can't win an election today. Because it has become a state where money power is now part of the political culture. Same way, violence has sadly become part of the political culture of Bengal, which was the case with Bihar 30, 35, even 20 years ago. The caste violence was steeped into the culture of Bihar. So I think there is a larger problem. It's not just about Mamata. Left was the same. Mamata has taken over their cadres. BJP also thinks to defeat Mamata, we are also going to have to play the same kind of politics. That's why Bengal is caught in a trap almost of lumpenization of politics.
Rajdeep, this 2024 election results
Yes.
is a through conquer or through contest.
Sorry?
The Modi Shah is literally they are conquering.
Yes.
So the result is 2024 results is through conquer or through contest. The result BJP 240 seats. And one more, what I observed, I don't know whether you mentioned in your book or not. But I observed this election first time in India after independence. Manifesto printed on a person named Modi guarantee. Generally, political parties, all this, if you see after independence, and party will give the guarantee, party manifesto, CP manifesto, Congress manifesto. But above party, person, Modi guarantee. Even recently, if you see in Delhi election, Arvind Kejriwal, Bhaika guarantee. So how this trend, how do you understand? So nowadays, there are persona above than political party. How do you understand this trend?
Very, very, very
I
interesting.
don't know whether you mentioned.
No, there's a full chapter.
2024 Modi guarantee.
There's a full chapter in the book, Modi ki guarantee versus Samvidhan Khatre mein hai. You see, Rahul Gandhi also spread a narrative of Samvidhan Khatre mein hai, which was designed to spread fear among people. कि डरो कि अगर बीजेपी आएगी तो आरक्षण चले जाएंगे, reservation will go. That was also politics of fear. But you mentioned personality politics, Modi ki guarantee. Please understand, when Jawaharlal Nehru was Prime Minister, there was also personality politics around Nehru. When Indira Gandhi was politics, Devkant Barua said, India is Indira, Indira is India. No. See, so all I'm saying is what used to happen in the past now happens more brazenly. अब कोई शर्म हया नहीं है बोलने के लिए कि सेम बीजेपी सेम आरएसएस से वी डोंट बिलीव इन पर्सनालिटी कल्ट. आरएसएस has always said पूजा में हमें कोई विश्वास नहीं है. अब तो आप व्यक्ति पूजा ही कर रहे हैं. What you used to accuse Indira Gandhi of, you are doing that. Indira Gandhi was accused of creating a personality cult and psychophancy. अब क्या हो रहा है बीजेपी में? No, no, sir, let's be honest, every party. No, 1 minute. Mamata Banerjee does it in Bengal. Arvind Kejriwal does it in Delhi. I went to Telangana again the other day. As you are coming out of the airport, all you see is big hoardings of Revant Reddy. Whole city is full of, Hyderabad is today only full of Revant Reddy's shot. When KCR was in power, only we have converted democracy. Do you think most people even know the candidates they are voting for in parliament elections? There was only one candidate for the BJP. His name is Narendra Modi. Even in Delhi, is anybody voting ki kaun banega Mukhyamantri Delhi ka, or even who's your MLA? You are voting for Modi. Even in municipal elections, MCD elections, Modi ji ka poster tha. Prime Minister's poster was there even in an MCD election. It's part, see, TV has also played a role in that. TV wants personalities. TV कोई manifesto पर focus करता है anymore. एक जमाने में TV would focus on manifesto. Now there is hardly, after the first day, there is no, this time BJP made the mistake of spending so much time on the Congress manifesto that Congress also got an opportunity to put its point across. But normally now, it's shifted from ideology to individuals. You are now voting for individuals. And therefore, Modi ki guarantee, it worked for the BJP. Both. Because it is not a level playing field in India anymore. Tomorrow, the elections which are taking place, do you think it's a level playing field? LG does not allow Arvind Kejriwal to function. Let's be honest. Money power, institution, media power is all on one side. I don't have any brief for Arvind Kejriwal on the Sheesh Mahal issue, for example. Are you telling me other leaders don't live in very extravagant houses? Only problem is Arvind Kejriwal told the world that I will wagon chalaunga and I will not take a big house. That's what people have now said. Yaar, tumne to kaha tha ye sab ab kya? You are not a party different. But this is now happening across parties. But there is no level playing field. 100 meter ki run mein, one side is already at 80 meters, you are at the start. Look at police power. Look at voter suppression. It is taking place in some parts. BJP is a machine. That's why I said it will last beyond Mr. Modi. Now they know how to win elections.
Yes, please.
Sir, my name is Ishit. Good evening. I just want to say, sir, back in 2014, when Mr. Modi came into power, somewhere he took all of us in his virtual La La Land that this thing will happen, that thing will happen. So somewhere he showed his vision for the country. Down the line, the third time when he became the prime minister, admittedly we have seen something. Maybe it is cosmetical that we have seen the highways and all. Do you think that the leader of opposition, Mr. Gandhi per se, was so much into, he got busy in criticizing the government rather showing his own vision for the country?
Absolutely right. Unless the Congress creates a model state, how do I challenge the BJP? You and I may disagree with Gujarat model, agree with it, but at least there was a model. Huge problems I have. If you go to Gujarat, very few democratic freedoms. Section 144 is in place for 10 years. But Mr. Modi sold a vision. You can call it a dream, a vision. For example, even today, when he speaks on digital infrastructure, on the ability to ensure that the digital economy is scaled up. Each and every Indian gets the monies that they are directly in their bank account. It's very powerful. ये जो लाभार्थी उन्होंने बनाए हैं, उसका बहुत फायदा बीजेपी को. So I think Mr. Modi, like him or not, has created a Modi brand. There is no Rahul brand in that sense or a Congress brand. आप अपनी एक स्टेट को बनाइए, ये मेरी मॉडल स्टेट है. If you are able to create today a model state, then people say, wow, ये आपने करवाया, maybe we can take it national. Many Congress states have become ATMs for whoever is in power. No, I agree with you. But look, let me be fair. He's raised a few issues which are important. I think you have to give him some credit that you may disagree with ideology, but at least he's trying to make the Congress an ideological party. Problem is, Congress will never be an ideological party. It's a party of power. Congress को सत्ता चाहिए. राहुल गांधी कह रहे हैं विचारधारा की तरफ चलो. कांग्रेस के लिए विचारधारा छोड़ो, मेरे को बताओ सत्ता कैसे मिलेगी. वो मिसमैच है.
Rajdeep, one
Yes.
question. You explained very well about the political parties, politicians, corruptions, ED, everything. But basically, you are born in the press. What about your role? Because the press and the judiciary should be unbiased. Press should explain to the people, to report to the people, unbiased news. Judiciary. But your people, your channel, always supporting. Even I saw you in India today. Always is reporting Siddharamaya. You explained in the channel saying that Siddharamaya vote karo, Siddharamaya vote karo.
No,
Like that.
please
No,
show
no,
me
no,
where
no.
Siddharamaya vote karo. No, you must show me this. You see, you all make statements.
Before
You cannot,
election,
no.
almost all pro
No,
Congress.
you must show me
Okay,
when
it
you
is
say.
all like you disagree with me. But why the press is so biased?
Okay, so I'll tell you.
No,
Okay.
the question is even judiciary also. These are the most important to the people. People, they know the real things through the press. They trust ultimately the judiciary. These are more important institutions.
Okay, let me answer your question. First of all, when you make a thing, सिद्धरामैया को वोट करो, आपको दिखाना पड़ेगा. नहीं तो आपका सवाल ही गलत है. Number one, no.
Okay.
You see, very easy to come
Okay,
here.
I agree with you regarding these two institutions
No, you have
about
made a
your press.
statement which you must take back. Number one. Number two, you all say Congress को. You see, what has happened? मैं आपको बताऊं असलियत क्या हुई है. सोसाइटी विभाजित हो गई है. व्हाट्सएप ग्रुप्स विभाजित हो गए. अगर मैं कुछ कहूं मोदी जी के पक्ष में कि उन्होंने फिजिकल इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर पे बहुत अच्छा काम किया, दूसरी तरफ से आएगा आप मोदी जी के भक्त बन गए हो. टुडे आई क्रिटिसाइज मिस्टर मोदी फॉर डैमेजिंग इंस्टीट्यूशंस. पीपल विल से अरे आप वही है, एंटी मोदी है. हम लोग विभाजित हो गए. वी आर सपोज्ड टू बी ईदर वन साइड और द अदर. ईदर यू आर दरबारी और यू आर गोदी. मुझे ना दरबार करना है ना गोदी. 1 minute, sir. So the society has also got divided. When you say you are biased, if you don't like something I say, which you think strongly about, you will call me biased. This is what we have become as a society. If I make a critique of the BJP, an honest critique, and you are a BJP supporter, you will say I'm biased. 1 minute. Similarly, if I, on the other side of the divide, I make an honest critique of the Congress, people will say, today I've said on this program, the problem with dynasty, the problem, will say, अरे यार आप तो कांग्रेस विरोधी हो गए हैं. You have to also look inside, sir. You have to also, when you blame the judiciary, when you blame journalists, please look within. Are you unbiased? Are you unbiased?
Sir, I come to know the instance. I believe the press. Press will give the correct picture. Then I trust you.
Right, you're right.
Then why you are one-sided the press?
See, now, you see, this is the problem. You will say we are one-sided. Someone else will say, sir, I agree with you. There I
Some are
agree.
with this party, some are with the other party, some are regional parties like that. Why the press is playing that role?
As I said,
You
society.
should be neutral,
Sir,
unbiased
press-
in reporting.
I agree with you, but the press has become a mirror of society. Society today is more and more divided than ever before. And in a divided society, to expect objectivity will be more and more difficult because bias lies in the eye of the beholder also. If you don't like a particular story or a particular viewpoint, you may well call me biased tomorrow. I am saying on this show or here that there are flaws in the Congress. I am pointing out the flaws in the BJP. Accept both. Are you willing to accept both? Or are you going to say, no, I am either with Modi or with Rahul? ऐसे नहीं चलेगा. Okay. I agree with you at that point. That I agree with you. Our duty is to remain as objective as possible. Last question.
Rajesh sir, good evening. Myself, SS Dogra. First of all, congratulations to you on this book launch.
Thank you.
My question is, how social media plays a role in politics now?
Very good question. We have more than 700 million smartphones and counting. Data is very cheap. Today, the way you can spread messages in real time makes social media a weapon. एक हथियार बन गया है, weapon of mass distraction and destruction. Before the Maharashtra elections, a day before voting, social media messages were spread. Waqf board is going to take over Siddhi Vinayak temple. Please think of how many people have got that message. My aunt got it, she sent it to me. Millions of Indians, Maharashtrians must have got it. What impact will it have on people's minds? Social media is a weapon. Look at the disinformation and misinformation spread on social media, especially on religious issues. And that is creating a very divided, dangerous society. At election time, the way these messages are spread. So social media is a real, particularly because it's in real time. Check on karega. Today, somebody asked about journalists being objective, and what is the responsibility of WhatsApp? What is the responsibility of Facebook, of Twitter? कुछ भी आप वहाँ कर सकते हो. No control. And that, according to me, now BJP has thousands of WhatsApp groups. Congress is also getting into it, and they are only doing propaganda. Social media, it can be also beneficial to many people who don't have the money that the other candidate has. Social media ke zariye, I can reach out to more people. That's the good news. The bad news is social media can spread misinformation, and I have no way to combat it.
Sir, good evening.
Last
You
question.
have explained very beautifully all the politics of the elections and democracy electing the various chiefs of the parties. But about whole of the story, what is the real watchdog to curb all the malpractices? And the politically and constitutionally elected politicians make these type of statement actions and violence. And further, there is a freedom of speech. The highest apex court is unable to push and do justice to the various misactions of the ruling or the opposition party. But what is the end? Where this all the solution lies? You have very critically and
Sir,
brought the aspect.
sir,
I
good,
want this.
sir,
Rakesh Gupta,
sir, good,
member
question.
SCVA.
Sir, good question. I don't have the solutions. I am an observer. I refuse to claim I have answers. I am only pointing out the problems. I have no solution, particularly for. No, no. My observation is that institutions in this country are increasingly under pressure. Whether it's courts, whether it is media, whether it is parliament. Parliament is reduced to a notice board. Have you seen the way the chairman of the Rajya Sabha or the speaker of the Lok Sabha function? Do you think they allow a level playing field in parliament? There used to be a time when parliament used to have healthy debates. When was the last time you saw a genuinely healthy debate on serious issues? Courts. When is the last time? You see, courts have to give justice to all, not only to VVIPs. Right? Media. The person there mentioned media should be objective. He's right. How is it going to be objective when, as I said, media owners today control what comes out on media? So these require institutional changes. ये कोई over democracy कोई silver bullet नहीं है कि आज bullet मार दी and democracy will be fixed. And I ask you this again: how many Indians are invested in our democracy? More and more Indians are just trying कि यार अपनी जिंदगी जीनी, रोटी कपड़ा मकान. आजकल तो मकान भी चाहिए, अच्छा चाहिए, 2 BHK चाहिए. ये where is the time to think about democracy? चलो 4 लेन हाईवे मिल गया, गाड़ी एक नई मिल गई, कोई हमने ले ली EMI पर गाड़ी, अच्छी गाड़ी. Okay. There was a time when the Indian middle class was invested in democracy. Today, the Indian middle class, I'm not sure, is invested anymore in democracy or democratic, which is sad. So, last question.
We are having a very insightful discussion. My question is, you talked about religious nationalism, but this has become a universal phenomenon. Like Donald Trump in the United States, Narendra Modi in India, Marine Le Pen in France. How do you see these things panning out in the next 10, 15 years?
Very good question again. I think what has happened is people are tired of politics as usual. ये जो इतने सालों से कांग्रेस यहाँ थी, the usual people who ran America from Capitol Hill in Washington. People are saying, हमें क्या मिला? And out of sheer anger and Mr. Modi was there at the right place at the right time. I keep saying. वो अन्ना agitation के बाद middle class also say ये सब नेता चोर है. Mr. Modi needs to send. I said it once. He needs to send an invitation, a thank you card to Arvind Kejriwal. Because that entire Anna movement created a kind of India where people said, यार ये बहुत हो गया. अब कोई आ जाए जो fix कर दे system. Whether you fix it through religious nationalism, whether you make the immigrant the enemy in America, whether Le Pen also plays this kind of politics of identity. Them versus us. हम और वो. हम अमेरिकी है. America first. Or Modi says, nation first. Or someone else says Hindutva first. That's the politics we've reached. So when politics as usual fails to provide the answers to people's problems, then people are looking for some magic man to come. Yaar, tu aaja aur job crisis solve kar de. You can't, right? Mr. Modi came to power with lots of announcements of things he was going to do. He promised to double farm incomes 5 years ago. They doubled. They haven't, right? He promised more recently a 100-day plan, even before the election, 100-day plan from all my ministers. I want a report card. Have you heard of it after the election? See, making promises is very easy now. And these are all populist politicians who directly communicate with, they're very good communicators. The skill that a Modi, Trump have, they know how to use TV, especially primetime TV. क्या कहना है, कैसे कहना है, sharp sound bites में. अब की बार मोदी सरकार. Sir, all of it is playing. Multimedia machine. Sir, वो तो छोटी बात है, but remember, मन की बात goes on all media now. But the biggest thing is WhatsApp. ये जो WhatsApp university बन गई है, it's very powerful. Yeah. And Trump and others have mastered the art of primetime TV. कैसे use करना है उसको. Modi has also mastered it. Modi has a PhD in communication. उसको हार्वर्ड जाने की जरूरत नहीं है. He understands कब क्या बोलना है, कैसे बोलना है. That's a skill. Today's politicians, the future politicians will have to understand how to play the TV game or how to play the communication game. You cannot today win elections without having some communication skills. What the communication is up to you, but कुछ तो चाहिए आप. You need that, So that's where we are today.
Before please.
Thank you.
Before I propose a vote of thanks, may I invite Pankaj Yadav to present a memento to our guest.
Thank you, Pankaj. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Rajdeep. It was a pleasure listening to you and reading your book. All the best for your Hindi edition also. Thanks very much, gentlemen, for gracing this event. It is going to become a part of our archives. If anybody wants to check anything, all the events we have done, you can find them on the archives. Thank you for coming. On Monday, we will have Dr. Shashi Tharoor as a chief guest for a major event. Please watch out our announcement tonight. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Venkat. Thank you, and thank you all of you for listening to me patiently. Thank you, including my friend there. Good question.
Rajdeep, the
FCC, yeah. You have a pen? Pen?
Yeah.
Thanks.